Hello, everybody. This is Debo's Movie Reviews here, and this week's review will be Punisher Warzone, starring Ray Stevenson as the Punisher, Dominic West as Jigsaw, Julie Benz as Angela Donatelli, featuring Doug Hutchinson as Looney Bin Jim, Colin Salmon as Agent Budiansky, Wayne Knight as Micro, and Dash Mahawk as Detective Martin Soap. I gotta say, one flaw with it is the exclusion of of Soap's partner from the comic, Lieutenant Von Richthofen. Von Richthofen, as in like named after the Red Baron, of course. But I'd just say the best take on a Punisher ever, especially the Warzone comics, because whereas regular Punisher in the early 90s and such was more grounded, like the Thomas Jane one was. Warzone, on the other hand, was about like the comic book. I mean, yeah, supposed to be campy and good and all with Dominic West playing a Jigsaw like like cross-string Joker, and then later on he had that suit where he looked like Blofeld from 007 from the Bond movies. And I gotta give it to old Wayne Knight, who looked a lot more comic accurate than the guy that played Micro in the Burnfold series. And with Stevenson, I gotta say, Lexi Alexander's direction did a damn good job. I mean, this is how you properly adapt a non-kid friendly comic book movie. I mean, to hell with the numbers. It's what the fans wanted, not what suits and the focus groups and hex all. Because would say because trust me, a Punisher would not fly as a PG-13 series. I mean, just or adapted anyway. Just can't be done. Not live action anyway. If you For anyone who wants to mention his appearance in the Spider-Man series from the 90s, because animation get away with a lot more than live action can. And with and boy was this one graphic. I mean, it's about like up there with like the fourth Rambo movie in terms of being one of the most bloodiest action movies I ever seen. I mean, talking about how action movies should be done. I mean, blood, gore, high body count, and talking about some epic kills. I mean, just from like it began where Punisher does a la Boondock Saints with a chandelier and just in that mafia mansion and just takes them all out one by one, and then with Soap on the trail and his other partner, who was not featured in the comic book because Lieutenant Von Richthofen was a woman in the comics, and that was just some other guy with a New York sounding name. And surprisingly, just a shame that Lexi Alexander hadn't been tapped to direct more movies, because with this one being the only one to fall under the Marvel Knights banner, which the Marvel Knights comics definitely not for kids. I mean, Hey, adults like superheroes too now. Man, I gotta say, Stevenson was probably one of the more perfect adaptations of Punisher. With like Wayne Knight, I'd say best thing he's done since playing Micro's best thing he's done since Seinfeld, and then of course with Dominic West, best thing he done since The Wire, and Doug Hutchison, practically the only good thing he's done. Cause yeah, if you know, you know. Kind of like between this and Green Miles, probably, in my opinion, his only good performances. God, Looney Bin Jim, that's a hell of a villain. Even with a line of going, you don't call him Looney Bin Jr. You definitely don't call him LBJ. You call him James. Especially like how in this adaptation, you could basically made it more and more proof that Jigsaw is really just Marvel Joker, because old Lexi Alexander basically made New York look like Gotham, which I kind of thought was damn near awesome, since Batman's my favorite DC guy anyway. Hell, kind of like we need Lexi Alexander to direct Flashpoint. And oof, even got to say one thing, epic moment with that was all when Jigsaw's recruiting all them gangs for that hideout shootout, the hotel, followed by the gangsters teaming up with the Russians that teamed up with the Punisher as a enemy in my enemy deal, since Jigsaw dropped a dime on them. I mean, just woof. Firing the first round and smoking them out, and then with Punisher going one on one all on them, and then especially does that random fat dude just getting in the crossfire. And it's some brutal. Talk about the brutality, especially that scene from where Jigsaw goes from Billy the Boot to Jigsaw when falls in that glass compactor, and I'm just like, ain't no fucking way he could survive that. Ain't no fucking way. I mean, just and even with the whole with the Yardy guys who were on constant meth high and all, and then that ex Latin King guy who becomes an associate of Carlos after Don after the Donatelli thing, which for those who don't know, remember if you hadn't seen the first part at the beginning of the movie, Donatelli was the name of the agent that Frank accidentally killed and got caught in a crossfire in that scrapper shootout. And oof, and then I got to give it to Colin Salmon, who I always say was an underrated actor. I mean, to me, he's like the British Samuel L. Jackson, up there with Idris Elba, of course, who's not completely non-related to this, but still. Still, overall, I gotta give Punisher Warzone a 5 out of 5. Though I gotta say, one flaw would be like the whole thing of the Donatelli thing, which kind of gave more of a human element to Punisher with how he accidentally kills a cop and then he wants to hang it. hang up the guns and just say declare the war over until it got too close. But yeah, I almost felt it was a missed opportunity that Julie Benz should have been at Lieutenant von Richthofen. Which, I mean, hell, she did a damn good job in Boondock Saints, so definitely a missed opportunity there, but still, excellent job, and practically one of the best things she's done up there with Boondock Saints 2. But overall, Punisher Warzone, a definite 5 out of 5. And in my opinion, I gotta say Stevenson was the best Punisher, because Warzone is basically how you properly adapt a Punisher movie. Practically the only one that ever acknowledges his his Marine backstory. Of course, missed opportunity to acknowledge Vietnam by not making it a period piece, since it was intended to be a sequel with Jane, but he backed out because he didn't like how the script was going, because Jane wanted to keep it more grounded and realistic, where Lex Alexander wanted to respect the source material. And with Punisher, I say, kind of one other flaw was how it not made a period piece. But hey, kind of like with missed opportunity with Lundgren was not acknowledging the Vietnam thing. But hey, they could do to him what they did with find a way to do to Punisher what they did with Spider-Man. Just do like a multiverse thing. I mean, that would be awesome. But overall, Punisher Warzone, a definite 5 out of 5. I hope y'all like, subscribe, and I'll keep dishing them out. Enjoy, people.